Do you know how to get the most out of the WP XPLOR suspension on your KTM 890 Adventure R or Husqvarna Norden Expedition? Later this week, I'm going to be setting out on a 5-day, 4-night moto camping trip through the Southeast, where we'll be riding the Tail of the Dragon, Cherahela Skyway, and doing some off-road sections, all with the bike fully loaded. So I need to know what the best suspension settings for my bike are. But let me back up a second. What does that mean to get the most out of your suspension? Well, I'm going to cover that in 3 parts. I'm going to talk about the differences between the Norden Expedition and the Adventure R versus their standard model counterparts. Point 2, how to adjust the WP XPLOR suspension based on the factory recommended settings. And number 3, how to tweak those settings to fit your specific riding style or situation. Before I dive into that, I want to loosely define 3 terms: compression, rebound, and preload. And if you've seen Ari Henning's video on suspension, you're probably already deeper in this than I ever will be, but really quickly, compression is just like it sounds. It's when the spring compresses or gets shorter. And rebound is the opposite of that. It's when the spring gets longer. And preload adds compression to the spring while it's at rest. Now, those are loosely defined terms, and of course you could pick those things apart in all their various glory, but we're not going to get into all of that here. So point number 1, how is the Adventure R or Norden Expedition suspension different than their standard model counterparts? On the standard models with the WP Apex suspension, you get compression and rebound. On the front forks of the WP XPLOR suspension, you get compression and rebound along with preload. In addition, you get some extra ground clearance and extra length and a beefier fork tube. Now I'm going to put up a chart showing all of the detailed specs of these suspensions so you can compare them in millimeters to your heart's content, but that's not what we're going to do here on the video. While the WP XPLOR suspension is a significant upgrade over the WP Apex with increased flexibility and adjustment, it does come at the cost of some seat height. So you do see about a 3/4 inch raise in the seat height, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're already managing a big bike like this, every bit of ground capability you can get matters. I'll also point out that the previous model of the KTM 790, the 2019 and 2020 models, do not have adjustable front forks, and they do not have a rebound setting on the rear shock. They do have preload on the rear shock, but that is the only adjustment on the previous model KTM 790 Adventure. One more thing I'll call out here is that the KTM 890 Adventure R and the Norden Expedition part numbers are slightly different when you're looking at these 2 bikes, but for all intents and purposes, they are effectively the same suspension. And the last thing I'll call out here is that yes, aftermarket options exist. You can check out Big Rock Moto's video on his Andrani setup and all the wild things you can do with the standard Apex suspension, but we're not going to dive into that here today. So point number 2, how to adjust the WP XPLOR suspension based on the factory recommended settings. I read through the Husqvarna Norden manual several times to make sure that I was clearly understanding exactly how to adjust each setting on the suspension. The manual gives a lot of description, but you do have to very carefully read what it's telling you to do. Now, my memory is terrible, so I didn't like having to go back to the manual or take the seat off to be able to see what the suspension settings should be. So I made my own handy dandy cheat sheet, which you can download in the description below. Not only does it give you the numbers for each suspension setting, but it gives you the tools required and which direction to turn each setting. So if you want to download that, that's in the description below. No sign up or anything required. That's just my gift to you. So the manual lays out comfort, standard, sport, and full payload settings. We're going to quickly walk through the standard suspension setup just to give you an idea of how to adjust each setting. So for the front, we're going to set compression on the front left fork tube all the way to the right, and then 15 clicks back to the left. And then on the right fork tube, you can set your rebound, same setting for standard, all the way to the right, and then back to the left, 15 clicks. The preload on the front forks is set at 0, and the manual recommends keeping it at 0 unless you're on full payload. On full payload, it recommends you setting to the +3 setting. I rode with this, and it did stiffen up the front forks quite a bit. I will be riding with preload set to 0 unless I have completely loaded out the bike. On the rear shock, we have high speed and low speed compression, rebound, and preload. So the high speed and low speed compression are not completely distinct from each other, and the manual calls this out. So they do affect each other at some level, so you don't want to have these set in wildly different settings. These are also the most difficult things to adjust. The high-speed compression requiring a 17mm socket, and you're going to go all the way to the right and then back to the left 1.5 turns. That's a turn, not a click. There's no detent or anything like that you can feel in the setting. And the low-speed compression does have detents, but they are, to me, a little bit difficult to feel, and it's a very difficult setting to get to with this flathead screwdriver. So I have to use a really small flathead bit, but you do have to feel carefully for the detents on this setting, but you're gonna go all the way to the right and then back to the left 15 clicks. And then to set rebound on the rear shock, you're gonna go all the way to the right with a long-handled screwdriver and then back to the left 12 clicks. And there are detents you can feel in that rebound setting. And then finally, for the rear preload in standard setting, you're gonna go all the way to the left. This is the one that's different for some reason, and then back to the right 4 turns. There are no detents, there are no clicks. It's just a turn of the 5mm Allen key. And there you have it. You've set your suspension to the standard settings on the Husqvarna Norden or 890 Adventure R. Okay, so those are the standard settings, but point number 3, how do you adjust the suspension to specifically suit your style of riding or situation? Now for me, the comfort setting is absolutely worthless. It's only for riding the bike very gently, and even then it feels a little wieldy and bouncy. The standard setting was kind of my starting point just because it seemed the most generic and widely used. Sport does help prevent some of the brake dive that you get because it does stiffen up the front fork tubes, but I did find that a little bit aggressive for my style of riding. So for the places I like to ride and the way I like to ride, the front compression and rebound is set to 12, the preload is set to 0, the high-speed compression is 1.25 turns, the low-speed compression is 11 clicks, the rear rebound is set to 9 clicks, and I do 5 turns of preload on the rear shock. So the full payload, I'm gonna have a whole lot of weight on this bike. But the maximum amount of weight you can add to the bike is 520 pounds. So let's say you go a 220-pound rider with gear on, you go 25 or 30 pounds on fuel, you're left with 250 to 300 pounds of payload you can put on the bike in addition to the rider and fuel. That's a lot of weight to add to the bike. I'm probably running in my full setup 150 pounds of gear, which is still quite a bit. But full payload means absolute full payload. When I'm fully loaded, I keep the front forks for compression and rebound set to 12 clicks and 0 on preload unless I'm really loaded out, and then I may set it up to +3 on the preload. For high-speed compression, I take it 3/4 of a turn, and for low-speed compression on the rear shock, I do 7 clicks. The rear spring rebound I set to 5 clicks, and when I'm fully loaded out, the rear preload is 10 full turns. And a final note on the sag. I did see about 1.5 inches or so of sag when I sat on the bike. I don't know if this is properly set or not, but the thing I can encourage you to do here is go out and ride the bike and bring your tools with you. I have all my tools in a giant loop possibles pouch on the back of the bike so that I can adjust the settings as I go. So if I'm out somewhere and it feels a little stiff, or I'm not getting in the corners the way I want to, or if it's got too much brake dive, I can adjust and tweak as I go. I really do think there's a lot of value in setting the preload on the rear shock. It changes the way the bike sits for me, whether I'm loaded or unloaded. It would have been nice if that was a crank handle like they have on the standard model, but it does require a 5mm Allen key. So I hope you found this helpful or interesting. If you did, I'd love for you to subscribe and follow along, click the like button, and please leave your comments below on how you like to set your suspension, how you like to set your sag. What's the most important thing to you? Are you looking for brake dive? Do you want preload on the rear? Do you feel the difference in compression or rebound when you've got your riding set up the right way? Is suspension a complete mystery to you? Do you need to know more about it? I mentioned Ari Henning's video earlier, and he goes through in great detail how suspension setup works on all bikes. But that's it for me today. Until next time, have fun and ride safe.